Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to all of you. I'm Dr. Swetha, your consultant dermatologist here at Signature 18 Clinic in Coimbatore. Today, I'm here to talk to you about hair care this summer. Now, all of us will, of course, enjoy getting that excess vitamin D from the sun during this summer. But when we are thinking about summer, we obviously relate it to suntan, heat burn, dehydration, and whatnot. But this is just one side of the story because these are the things happening to your skin. What about your hair? Let me brief you about what are the changes that happens to your hair during the summer so that you can understand how you can better take care of your hair again during this climate. Now, to start off with some of the basic things that happen to your hair during this summer. What happens? There is excessive heat during summer, and this tends to oxidize the amino acids present in your hair. We all know amino acids are building blocks of protein. So what happens if we break down these strong support system that we have in our hair? Obviously, our hair is going to get much more weaker, much more fragile, and yes, it is going to break off or fall off. The next thing that can happen to your hair is because of this excessive heat, there is going to be a lot of dehydration in your hair. Imagine having extremely dry skin. How do you think your skin is going to look? Now, the same thing for your hair. If it's extremely dehydrated, it is going to look very dull. It's going to have no luster at all. You will not see that healthy hair, right? So hydration, of course, is key here. Now, some of the other things that can happen to your hair is because of this excessive sunlight, we're obviously talking about ultraviolet radiation exposure. Now, this combined with heat, what will happen is it will tend to burn off the superficial epithelial cells present in your scalp. So what will that happen? Then your scalp gets exposed. Now, as a protective mechanism, your scalp will tend to become more harder. That is, all these cells tend to build up more. Now, when this happens, there is absolute blockage of your sebum, which is nothing but your natural oil. Now, if there is no oil to lubricate your scalp, to lubricate your hair follicles, and to allow it to grow to its full potential, what is going to happen? Of course, there is going to be a hindrance to your hair. Apart from all of these things, you know there are different types of ultraviolet radiation, and ultraviolet A rays can penetrate much more deeper than the surface of your skin. Now, when this happens in our scalp, if on long-standing exposure, if it is able to pass deeper and hit your hair follicle, what is going to happen is it is going to eventually thin down your hair follicle, and you can imagine what kind of hair you're going to get from that thin down follicle, right? So these are all some of the changes that happens in your hair during this summer. Now, what are the things that you can do to take care of your hair this summer? Now, let me give you maybe 5 or 6 tips as to what things you can do very easily at home. Some of the basic things that I would like to remind you about is, of course, your lifestyle. A good sleep pattern, a relatively stress-free, and a good physical activity, yes, is going to keep your metabolism up. It is going to keep your life very, very healthy, obviously, which means you are going to have healthy hair as well. Having good hair during summer is really not a hassle. What are the things you need to do? First thing, drink up. Hydrate yourself well. I have already mentioned this. If there is going to be dehydration on your scalp, that is going to show in the form of dry hair, frizzy hair, sort of breakable hair, right? So make sure your hydration levels are always high this summer. The second thing, switch to milder shampoos. If you're used to having stronger shampoos, or if you're used to washing your hair only twice a week, maybe switch to using washing your hair a little bit more frequently. Why? Because when we are exposed outside, we are not just exposing our hair to the ultraviolet rays, but we are also exposing a lot to the chemicals, to the dust, to pollution and whatnot. So we are looking at agents which will gently cleanse off our scalp and leave it moisturized at the same time. Take the help of your dermatologist in finding what is the right mild or a gentle cleanser for your scalp. Third most important thing that you should be doing for your hair is avoid having any chemical treatment done during this time. And even if you do have some chemical treatment done on your hair, it could be a simple hair coloring or bleach or whatever it is, make sure you're always protecting your hair. And for this, just your shampoos, serums, or hair products are not enough. Make sure to put a scarf when you're traveling out or you're on a holiday, or make sure to carry your umbrella with you wherever you travel. So these are the 3 main things that you need to think about. And of course, there are other simple things like whenever you wash your hair, make sure not to dry it out completely using your hair dryer, because there's almost always heat right now in this climate. And to add on to that, if you're going to give more heat to your hair, it is going to get more damage. So what you're looking for is sort of, allowing your hair to dry in the normal temperature. And then when it is in a semi-dry state, you can always use your curlers, your irons, your hairdressers, or whatever it is that you want to do for your hair. And of course, oiling. If you are in the habit of going to a parlor or to any place to get a good oil massage, make sure you're bringing them down. You do not want too much of oil or aggressive massages on your scalp in this season because it can cause a lot of folliculitis. And also remember, when you're using a lot of oil and if you're going to allow it to sit on your scalp for a very long time, it is going to clog your pores. It is going to clog your follicles, and again, your follicles can get damaged. It can produce a small blisters. You can have a little bit of infection and whatnot. So the best thing that you can do is do your massages yourself this summer. Take a few drops of oil, of course, apply it on your scalp very, very gently. Let it sit on your scalp for maybe half an hour to 1 hour, and then make sure you are washing it off thoroughly from your scalp. So these are some of the basic tips that you need to remember to take care of your hair. Apart from these things, if you want an extra tidbit, so make sure you're also consuming a lot of nuts and seeds because they're rich in antioxidants, and you know that you need these antioxidants not just for your skin, but also for your hair. Thank you so much for listening.